his actions in Azaz will have?
I think the Turkish government is protecting their national interest and national security by targeting groups that threaten the sovereignty of Turkey and threaten to, with separatist movements, and also threaten the Syrian revolutionary forces that have controlled the border and have secured humanitarian access to the city of Aleppo and other villages in Idlib.
Can you just explain to us how this might affect Turkey's relationship with the US? It's quite a complicated situation. You've got both NATO members on either side of the militia. Break that down for us. It's quite a complicated step in this war.
It's quite significant, complex situation that the Turks are very careful not to be dragged into this this turmoil, and that's why they're very cautious, using very surgical airstrikes to minimize the risk but not remove the risk. And so they are always leaving the room for negotiations with the Americans and also the SDF forces on the ground. But they are making it clear that they will not tolerate the border crossing to be taken by the SDF forces.
Do you expect stronger opposition from Turkey? Do you expect to see stronger action on the ground, for example? And another question, do you think Syria needs another front in this war?
I mean, Turkey has already been involved since the beginning, so it's not a new phase. And the Syrian revolutionaries have received a lot of aid from the Turkish government, and also humanitarian aid, not only logistical and tactical and military aid, but also humanitarian aid. This is the border crossing with Turkey is a main source of resilience for the Syrian population.
Obviously, only a week ago there were discussions about having a cessation of hostilities. What do you think are the prospects for peace?
Well, I mean, the cessation of hostilities have not been witnessed by the Russians, who have actually, since the Munich communique, have escalated their attacks on Syrian villages and Syrian towns. They have targeted this morning hospitals in Azaz. They have targeted schools in the suburb of Damascus, which we don't hear very often about. Just last night, killing over 20 students and their teachers in the eastern Damascus region. They have escalated the attacks. So the question of cessation of hostilities should be first questioned to the Russian aggression and along all the militias that are on the ground trying to capture those lands with the Russian airstrike. The Russians have basically pushed out over 100,000 refugees to the Turkish border now, and perhaps over 400, 500 waiting to go. And this is also pressuring Europe, and this is also making a huge international crisis just on the refugee side.
The complexity continues. Ammar, Kahf, thank you very much.